Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. In this video, I want to share with you a project that I recently completed for my Girl Scouts, and I'm also going to share with you my process for making this particular project. As many of you know, I am a Girl Scout troop leader, and twice a year we have a court of awards where the girls are awarded or presented with all of the badges and pins that they earned throughout the Girl Scouting year. Last year, we were not able to get together for our court of awards, so we are starting off the new Girl Scouting season this year by presenting the girls with their badge book and all of the badges and pins and all that fun stuff that they earned last year. This year, I wanted to try to upcycle something or recycle something to make their little badge books. And what I decided to upcycle was a file folder. We all have them. You can get them pretty cheap just about anywhere. I know the Dollar Tree has them. So definitely easy to get a hold of a file folder. And I used one file folder to create this awesome little badge book. This is my daughter's badge book because we already had our court of awards and the girls already received theirs. Thought I would share with you the one that was presented to my daughter. Now, I used a simple baker's twine as a wrap. The twine was threaded through this little metal eyelet just for fun, something new, something different. Then there is a paper clip that's been embellished. Super cute paper clips. I had a bunch of these that I have been purchasing from Home and Hearts Creation, I think is her name. I had enough where I was able to give each of the girls one of those beautiful paper clips. That was my gift to them. So when you open this up, it's kind of an accordion style or flip out type badge book. Check that out. How cool is this? And it continues on the back. So what I loved about this particular design is that it had lots and lots and lots of space. Not all of my girls earn the same number of badges. Some earn more than others. So I always need something that can accommodate different numbers. Some girls earn a little, some girls earn a lot. So this particular style of book allowed me to have short pullouts or long ones depending on how many badges were being awarded to that particular scout. So I will share with you how I made this. It is super cute. Check that out. All of the badges fit nicely. Now, I'm calling it a badge book, but obviously you can use it for whatever purpose serves your needs. It can be an album, it can be an embellishment book, it can just be a little art journal, whatever you want it to be. I will share with you how I made it. I'm sure I'm not the first one here on YouTube to make something like this using a file folder. That being said, I didn't see any tutorials. I just decided, I sat down, decided this is what I want to use to make my badge book, and I just figured it out. So this was my prototype. This was my prototype, and it took me three tries before I got it here. I definitely wanted something that wasn't going to be difficult to close, but at the same time, it needed to accommodate quite a few badges and also be cute. So let me share with you how I made it. Let's start with the tools that I used. So for this particular project, let me put my sample or my template off to the side so I can refer to it if I need to. You will need a file folder, and it doesn't really matter where the tab is. At least yeah, maybe you want to pick, you want your tab in the center or something, but for me, it doesn't really matter. I needed a straight edge, a couple of cutting tools. I have this X-Acto cutter. I have my cutting board. I also have my scoreboard, and I have a bone folder and some glue. Can't forget the glue. So we will start with the cutting board. That is the first tool I am going to use. So here is my file folder. All file folders have that little tab. Depending on the style of your folder, you may or may not have like this extra little kind of bump out on both sides. That's something that I'm going to get rid of. I basically want my edges to be straight, no bump out. So I'm just going to trim off enough of the edge to get rid of that little bump out. So you can see right here is where the bump out starts. I'm just lining that up. We will get rid of that. No point in saving that, right? Then you are left with a file folder with no bump out. After you cut the bump outs, trim those off. My particular folder has this raise right here. I want to get rid of that. That doesn't help me at all. It doesn't serve any purpose for my project, so I'm going to cut that off as well. There, didn't I? Okay, so now this is what you are left with. The bump outs are gone, and we tripped the top edge of the folder here so that it's perfectly straight. Okay, now we are going to open this up and turn it onto the long side. Fold it in half. Do your best to line this up. Take your time. I'm going to use my bone folder to help me out here. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, this is where I use my straight edge. You can use your trimmer, but my trimmer is not long enough to be able to do this kind of a cut. Lucky for me, I have a nice long straight edge. What I want to do is, now that it's folded in half, I want to cut this down the center, right, on that fold. So the easiest thing for me to do, this is how I do it. I take a straight edge. Let me line this up with my cutting mats. To make sure I end up with two even pieces, I just use a straight edge and my cutting knife and just cut the tiniest sliver. Tiniest sliver. Okay, so now I have the two pieces, and if I did it right and I put them next to each other, they're exactly the same height. So I would call that a success. Now, next tool we're going to use is the scoreboard. I'm going to grab my scoreboard. We have two pieces here. We have the piece with the tab, and then we have the piece that has no tab. We are going to start with the piece that has the no tab. Line it up with your scoreboard. And I'm going to score. I'm going to line it up on the long side. I'm going to score at 4, 8, and 12. That's 4, 8, and then 12, right? Then I'm going to, because the cardstock, or I should say the folder, is longer than my scoreboard, so after that I do that 4, 8, 12, I'm just going to bump up that last fold. I'm going to bump it up against the 0, and I'm going to score at 4. There will be some excess. There will be some excess. That will get trimmed off. Okay, so we will trim that off. You can do it now, you can do it later. I will do it later, but that excess will get trimmed off. Next, you're going to take the piece with the tab, and you're going to line up on the long side. I find it easier to control if I put the tab so that it's hitting not only the side but also the top. So if you try to do it this way, I don't know, you might get a tiniest bit of movement. That's just my thinking. So I just line it up so the tab is in the corner here. And here your scores are going to be just a little different. We're going to score at 2 3/4. If I can find the right end of my stylus here. 2 3/4. Then at 3. Then at 7. And 7 1/4, and then 11 1/4. On that last score line, you just want to fold that last score line, bump it up back against the 0, and you're going to score at the 4. And again, there will be some excess. Okay, that excess we will keep. So let me put the scoreboard away. I'm going to now just fold those score marks that I created. Make sure everything is good. I am all about cutting and testing as I go. Last thing you want to do is wait to the end to try your folds and see if everything works. So this is 1/2 of the book. It's done nicely. We have those 1/4 inch I guess spines is what you would call them. I'm sure there's another word for them, but I can't think of it right now. Okay. So that's great. We'll put that to the side. Here's the first piece we did. Let's fold those. This is the one where we have that excess. So we are going to trim off that little bit of excess there. I am going to use my trimmer. So this is what we are left with right here, right? Kind of looks like an M or W, depending on which way you hold it. And then this one, this is what this one looks like, right? So do you remember that excess that was on the piece with the tab? We're going to use that excess to attach the other part. We're going to glue them together. Okay, so we are going to put glue right here. I am going to use my art glitter glue. You can use whatever glue you have. You've heard me preach about glue in the past. I think glue or adhesive is something that is worth the investment. Nothing worse than creating a beautiful project and then your glue or your adhesive just doesn't do it for you. So we're going to take that piece. We're going to take the second piece, line them up. Just make sure when you're attaching the second piece that you do not glue it directly on top of where the fold is. If you do that, it's going to make it difficult to close the book. Okay, and this seam right here, I know it doesn't look pretty now, but you can cover that up with a mat. So once your two pieces are joined together, what you should be left with is your book. Check that out. You would basically just fold it in on the score lines, and then wrap around the tab, and look how cute is this. Super cute, right? So that's the one we just made, and again, here's the finished one. How cute is this? So all you would do now is just cut a bunch of mats and mat each of these panels. You can do any theme you want, obviously, right? Whatever floats your boat. Winter, spring, summer, fall. It's a good way to use up your project life cards. If you have larger project life cards, you can use them, cut them down, and mat the different pages. I'll share with you the one that I did for my daughter. Again, what I did was I matted the little cover, the wraparound with the tab. I matted that. I matted basically every page, and then I just added an eyelet and use some simple twine as a closure. But how awesome is this? What I did was, and I matted it on both sides. And again, hers, I cut a few panels off of hers because I didn't want it to be, there was no need for it to be as long as the original template, because she had a lot of badges, that's for sure, but not so many that we needed to use every single one of those panels. So I cut off a couple of the panels. It's the best thing about this. You can cut it down to whatever length works for you. And all I did was I grabbed a couple of my paper pads. I mean, I used this project as an opportunity to basically kill some paper pads in my stash, and I cut the panels so that it left an 1/8 of an inch border all around. When adhering your panels onto or into the book, the only thing you want to make sure is that you don't have anything going over, you see where the fold is? You don't want anything going over that fold, because it just makes it more difficult, and sometimes even impossible for you to close your book properly if you put anything over that fold. So that's why I cut the panels or the mats down, leaving an 1/8 of an inch border all around. And then I used some glue dots to adhere the badges into the book. But again, these can be anything, absolutely anything. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is probably the one I just made with you. I'm probably going to decorate that one and mat it using a maybe Halloween theme. I think will be fun, and I'll keep it in my stash. Maybe something I'll gift to someone down the road. But how fun and how easy is it to make these? And the best thing about it is that you are using materials that are right in your craft room. Now, I'm not going to share with you the process for creating the mats. I think we all know how to do that. But if you would like to see it, I have no problems sharing that process with you. Leave a comment down below. If I get enough interest, maybe what I will do is in the next video, I will share with you the continuing process of matting this little fold out one that we just did together in a Halloween theme or maybe a fall theme. It would make a cute little album too if you want to make like a little memory book for someone. You can use it as an addition in a journal. It's like really, really, really cute. I love it. Absolutely love it. So that is my share with you, my friends. If you have any questions, leave them down below, or you can send me an email at HappilyEllaAfter@gmail.com, and it is spelled the exact same way as my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, subscribe. I would love to have you. If you are already subscribed, then be sure to activate that notification bell so that you are notified anytime I post a new video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, then a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. It certainly does help in the growth of my channel. Or I should say with the growth of my channel. Again, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Until next time. Bye-bye.